A girl by the name of Marlene Major is missing.
And you're not quite awake, but you're not totally asleep either.
Hello? Hello. I keep getting calls from Lalana, and she wants to know where her mother is. She pulled a gun on you. You took it off her and shot her, right? Yeah, that's one story.
In the quiet town of Verona, Kentucky, 20 years of silence hid a chilling mystery. Imagine a seemingly ordinary family shattered by a mother's sudden disappearance. A case gone cold, secrets buried deep, until a determined daughter unearthed a 20-year-old diary that held the key to a horrifying truth. What did Marlene Major, a loving mother, conceal in her diary that put her children in grave danger? How did a daughter's relentless pursuit for justice expose the horrifying details of her mother's murder? Brace yourselves for a roller coaster of emotions as we navigate through a tale where the past haunts, secrets shatter, and justice triumphs. Little Lalana Bramble, just 9 years old, wakes up on October 12th to a world forever changed. Her mom, Marlene, leaves the house promising a quick return, but she never comes back. Lalana, confused and scared, believes her mom has simply abandoned her. The next day, October 13th, the police step in, investigating a man named Glenn St. Hilaire. Why? Well, it turns out he had an affair with Marlene. He hands over Marlene's diaries during questioning, but hours later, the police release him and the case goes cold. For over 2 decades, the mystery of Marlene's disappearance hangs in the air. Lalana, now an adult, feels an obligation to solve her mother's case, driven by the belief that Marlene would never abandon her children. The year 1980 unfolds as a tumultuous time for the Major family. Marlene and Bill's marriage, seemingly happy on the outside, conceals constant fighting, creating an unstable environment for their 2 kids. Bill's introduction of Glenn St. Hilaire as a handyman adds an unexpected twist to the family dynamics. Despite the chaos at home, Glenn becomes a close friend to the couple. Strangely, Bill encourages Marlene and Glenn to spend time alone. As months pass, the fighting between Marlene and Bill escalates until one day, Marlene threatens to leave with the kids. On that fateful October 12th night, Bill rushes Lalana and her brother Donald to the neighbors, assuring them that he'll be back in a few hours. The next morning, Marlene is gone, without a trace. The police now involved focus their suspicions on Glenn. However, Bill drops a bombshell. Marlene was having an affair with Glenn, and she left to meet him on the night of the disappearance. Conflicting stories emerge, leaving the police puzzled and worried for Marlene's safety. Glenn, seemingly concerned, hands over Marlene's diary, where a cryptic message about the children being in grave danger is discovered. Despite the compelling content, legal obstacles prevent the investigators from taking action. Marlene's diary, tucked away on a police shelf, remains unseen for 2 decades. Meanwhile, 2 potential suspects are left to return home with 0 evidence against them. Little do they know that Marlene's diary holds the key to solving the mystery, and Lalana is determined to uncover the truth about her mother's disappearance. Lalana, 5 years old, struggles to comprehend the gravity of her father's words. In the middle of confusion, one fear becomes clear. Without her mom, who will shield them from their increasingly erratic father? Meanwhile, back in Kentucky, the police investigation hits a dead end. No evidence suggests Marlene's fate, leaving the case in a bleak standstill. Months pass, and Lalana, though convinced her mom left, yearns for her return. In the fuzziness of half-sleep, she envisions a knock on the door, heralding her mother's reappearance. The family remains in Rhode Island, concealing the turmoil within their house. Unseen by outsiders, Lalana and her brother face escalating violence at the hands of their father. School becomes a struggle as they hide their injuries, but the worst is yet to come. Bill forces Lalana to do unthinkable acts, using threats against her brother to manipulate them. The Kentucky police, lacking new leads, remain powerless without a body or concrete evidence. By 1984, 3 years have elapsed and Lalana is 8. Her mother is still missing and the silence at home intensifies. A pivotal moment arrives in 1985 when their father remarries, seemingly offering a fresh start. Yet, the abusive atmosphere persists and Lalana continues her silence, protecting herself and her brother. It's not until 1985, after a chilling incident with a gun, that Lalana's brother, Donald, decides it's time to speak up. He reveals to Lalana that their lives are about to change. The siblings, now teenagers, brace for the unknown. August 10th, 1985, marks the turning point. The police arrive at their doorstep, arresting Bill Major. The children watch, fearing repercussions as their father is handcuffed and taken away. He is sentenced to 15 years with the possibility of parole. Lalana and Donald, now free from their father's grip, move back to Kentucky to live with their maternal grandmother. Despite the semblance of a normal life, the absence of their mother continues to cast a shadow. Marlene has been gone for 5 years, and the family avoids discussing her, leaving Lalana to grapple with the void left by her missing mother. In 1997, Lalana, determined to unveil the truth about her mother Marlene's disappearance, confronts her grandmother. The revelation is chilling. Her mother is dead, killed by her own father, Bill. This shatters the narrative fed to Lalana and her brother Donald, who believed their mother had simply abandoned them. Fueled by this newfound knowledge, Lalana embarks on a quest for justice. Armed with a simple composition notebook, she meticulously records every conversation, date and time, piecing together a puzzle left untouched for years. In 1997, her father's early release adds urgency to her mission. Lalana storms to the police station, demanding access to her mother's files, including the long-withheld diary. Finally of legal age, she gains access and reads the shocking truth. Marlene's diary entries reveal a harrowing reality, her father's abusive behavior hidden behind a facade of lies. In a chilling revelation, Lalana learns of a skull discovered in 1981, a year after her mother's disappearance. The lack of advanced DNA testing at the time hindered identification, leaving a haunting mystery. Lalana dives into her mother's files. She uncovers disturbing details. Her father likely manipulated Marlene's remains, removing teeth and the lower jaw. A bullet hole mars the skull, reminiscent of a horror movie. This revelation prompts Lalana to return to Boone County, Kentucky, armed with a shovel, hoping to find the rest of her mother's remains for identification. As she digs, she feels the tension between hope and dread. Lalana endures, exhausted but unfazed until a breakthrough happens. Because of advancements in lab technology, even a little sample from a skull can produce a DNA profile. This key test proves to be the deciding factor in her prosecution and the closure she seeks for her family. The weight of this moment is immense. If the DNA test confirms Marlene's identity, justice can be served and closure becomes possible. Lalana's journey, fueled by courage and determination, unravels the mysteries hidden for decades, inching closer to the truth about her mother's fate and the dark secrets buried in the past. The forensic evidence returns from the lab, and the truth hits Lalana like a sledgehammer. The skull discovered back in 1981 belongs to her mother, Marlene. The missing person case has morphed into a horrifying murder. The crushing reality settles in, but Lalana, despite her shattered heart, is far from giving up. Fueled by determination to expose her father, Lalana confronts him directly. A phone call becomes a pivotal moment in her quest for justice. She pleads with him, asking for the location of her mother's body so that they can bury her and find closure. However, Bill, unyielding and cold, laughs off her plea, refusing to disclose any information. Unfazed, Lalana realizes her only option is to obtain a confession from her father. Detective Todd Kenner joins her cause, devising a plan involving Bill's father, Jim Major. A recorded conversation aims to extract crucial details and a chilling truth emerges. During the call, Jim presses Bill about Marlene's burial place, offering to reveal it privately. Bill, aware that the truth means imprisonment, hesitates. His responses, devoid of denial, expose the guilt lingering in the shadows. The incriminating call, coupled with the DNA match on the skull, provides enough evidence for Bill's arrest in 2001. On the journey back to Boone County, Bill, in the back of the police car, confesses to the gruesome events of October 12, 1980. Marlene and Bill argued, and in a fit of rage, he shot her. The subsequent horror includes dismemberment, removal of her jaw, and scattering her remains across the state. He discards the murder weapon in a pond and skins Marlene's car in the Ohio River. Despite intense searches, the gun, the car, and Marlene's complete remains remain elusive. However, armed with Bill's chilling confession, the prosecution proceeds. In 2003, Bill Major faces trial for Marlene's murder and tampering with evidence. Glenn St. Hilaire, the family's handyman and alleged lover of Marlene, provides damning testimony about Bill's encouragement of their relationship. Lalana and Donald, now adult, testify about the molestation they endured and the threats to keep silent. The jury delivers a swift guilty verdict, and Bill is sentenced to life without parole. The courtroom witnesses the siblings' painful revelations, and Lalana, long haunted by fear, finds a sense of peace. In the aftermath, officers commend Lalana's unwavering pursuit of justice and her deep love for her mother. Despite the scars of the past, Lalana proves that healing is possible. Supported by Donald, the siblings break the cycle of abuse perpetuated by their father. Lalana's experience shows her strength and determination. She confronted her demons, confronted her father, and brought her mother's tragic story to its conclusion.